r/AskReddit. What are red flags in a friendship most people brush away? Reading through this is making my heart sink with realization. Are you the friend or the friend? The friend. I've been blocking out most of it, but stepping back and looking at my friend group and how they've treated me for the past year or so is like a slap in the face. But I don't have anywhere else to go. Alone is better than a toxic shitty group of people. You have your own value and can branch out into areas where you'll meet other people. Friends who gossip excessively. If they're talking about other people, chances are they're talking about you. My roommates like to gossip by saying extremely nice things behind friends' backs. Continually feeling like you want to say something but should hold your tongue. Always asking for favors but never there when you need them to return one. I remember one time I needed a lift halfway across the UK and none of my friends would take me. One of my online friends who lived not too far away, who I help out a lot, just said, "Say no more, I'll be there in 15 minutes, get your shit." Safe to say he is one of my closest and best friends. You see, you got a private message from them and your gut reaction is to start getting nervous or anxious. What is it this time? Really jealous and possessive friends. I'm a jealous person by nature, and even though my jealousy flares up when I see my friends hanging out with other people, I would never let them know. Why? Because I don't want them to feel bad about doing the things they love. Having a social life outside my little world. If a person tries to box you up because they want you all to themselves, it's not a proof of love or companionship. True love, in any kind of relationship like friends, family, lovers, is shown by respect and allowing the other person to have free will. Friends who are always happy to talk about themselves but never once ask you how you're doing or anything engaging you to talk about yourself. Have a friend exactly like this. It's very annoying lately. Friends who are good to you in one-on-one but constantly put you down in group settings. This is a big sign of insecurity, jealousy. Other signs: inappropriate attention-seeking behaviors. Trying to twist the situation on you when confronted about things. Not respecting your boundaries. Is super friendly with new people but in a disingenuous I wanna be liked the most way. Constant gaslighting. Getting mad at you for not going by the exact same moral playbook as them. When in group settings they get really uncomfortable and try to change the subject or put you down extra if attention is on you. Acting they like can take constructive feedback but actually taking it out on you in small ways throughout the rest of the day. Edit. Thanks for all the upvotes and the silver. Wish you all the best of luck in ridding yourselves of toxic friendships. Don't go wasting your time on people who don't treat you with the respect you deserve. I just had this 2 hours ago. I was shopping and a cute girl just said hi while walking by. Just a hi made my day, and so I was telling my friend about it. He said nice and then told me how yesterday a sexy co-worker just comes to him and kisses him. Reason: she just wanted to. This was kinda the moment I realized he is full of cow excrements. Being dismissive of all your interests and achievements. Meanwhile everything they do, no matter how mundane, is amazing. And then you bring this issue up and they give BS reasons like it's hard for me to care about something I don't know about, or even further, you're being sensitive, erratic, emotional, and you just sit there thinking, I'm sure glad I still attentively listened to all those times you bored me with your financial spreadsheets you made to decide what car you would buy. Inability or unwillingness to apologize when he or she does something wrong. It's symptomatic of an ego issue that will eventually infect every aspect of your friendship. Passive-aggressive insults to other friends. Or to you. Good vibes only friends. That mentality is fine to have with yourself, but you can't force that on others. My best friend adopted this attitude, and from then on, whenever I would come to her for support or advice on an issue I was having, she'd cut me off and say, good vibes only, remember? Because I was bringing her down. I put up with it for a long time because I thought she was right, that I was burdening her. But then I finally realized that that's not how real friends act. They're supposed to support and help each other. Edit. Thank you for the silver. And many people are bringing up how some people set up boundaries because they are going through something themselves and can't help someone else at the moment, or that the person will only come to them for negative things. I completely agree. Neither extreme is a healthy friendship. Reading these comments are helping to calm my anxieties about whether or not I'm a good friend. So thanks for that, y'all. Another sign of a bad friend is no self-reflection. Sounds like you don't fall into that category either. My best friend in high school once specifically requested for me to post a picture of us for National Best Friend Day, or some similar holiday. I asked if she'd be posting a picture of us too. No, I have a lot of best friends, but I'm your main best friend, so you should post a picture of us, was her response. The next couple years were full of backstabbing and gaslighting, complete with occasional fallings out until we finally stopped speaking. Looking back, I can't believe I didn't see it coming. You'll glad do a favor for them or help them out, but when you need something, they won't do it and act like you're ridiculous for asking. Also, when friends don't respect boundaries, they never say anything supportive of you, but they will point out your flaws and can't wait to burn you because it's funny to them, and then the follow-up of "you're too sensitive, it's just joking." They don't ask about you. They just turn every conversation about themselves. When you talk about exams, they don't ask you how you did, they just talk about themselves. When you talk about not sleeping well, they talk about how they didn't sleep. When you tell them you broke up with your so, they talk about their so, etc. When they push other people out of the friend group. It happened in my group where there were 5 of us. She joined and basically bullied 3 out of the group. But it wasn't obvious bullying. A lot of things change. Next thing I know, I'm being treated like shit to the point I hate myself. Me and my friend managed to leave and make friends with the original 5 again. The one that kicked everyone out is very social and no one RLY likes her BC. She's not nice, but she's now found herself with no friends. If you think about them when you read this post about one friend in the bad way, I just learned that my other best friend is ducking autumn. I've got a friend who loves to talk about himself. Everything is always about him. So, when I'm out with my friends and he's in our group, we created a game where you have to drink every time he starts a conversation about himself. It's made it a lot more tolerable. Edit. To those of you who think we do it behind his back, I never said we do. It's something we've talked about with him plenty of times and he's aware of. He's not a bad guy at all. It's just how he is. He also doesn't mean anything bad by it. He's aware we do it. We are all just super close, so we've just made a game out of it, and now he often catches himself doing it. Edit 2. Yes, he will drink with us. As I mentioned, he now catches himself often and will realize it and be like, ah, shit, then we will all laugh and drink together. I'm also not saying I'm perfect. Far from it, and we've got games and jokes about me as well. When they pressure you to do things for them or a certain way and act like you were on board the whole time. Cohesion. They say they are holding you accountable to something you never wanted in the first place. Gaslighting. They take the high road when you get angry because they won't respect your boundaries. Play the victim. Friends that are a one-way street. I was always the one to message, call, or make plans with them. I was always the one to check up on them to see if they were okay. I always offered a helping hand and be there for them. I decided to stop to see if they would reach out to me, but we never spoke to me again. Oh, well. Friends that constantly hit you. AAAUHHFK. I can't believe you've done this. When you realize that you are more yourself when they are not around. Edit. Row. Didn't expect my comments to get this much attention. And thanks for the silver. When they refuse to validate you / compliment you. When you tell them your accomplishment or something you're proud of, they reply with what they did to devalue your thing. Having their damn phone in their face the whole time. If they do that, they don't want a friend. They want company. It's not the same. I have friends like this, but it prevents them from being good friends. Having to censor yourself. I have friends with different religious political beliefs that I think are absolutely insane. I don't endorse what they say, but I just keep my mouth shut because I know they wouldn't be okay with it, and the purpose of these friendships usually revolve around sports music. This is subtle and a bit counterintuitive, but beware of the rescuer-martyr, the person that's always rushing out to help and give everyone else their all, whether or not it's needed or whether the recipient is comfortable with it. They are good people, very well intentioned and saintly in their generosity with their time and energy. However, Sometimes it goes to the extreme and then it's more a symptom of a toxic cycle where they only get meaning and self-worth when they are saving someone. Or maybe they keep swooping into other people's lives to fix things in hopes that someone will do the same for them. They may have good intentions but they tend not to have good boundaries. They get over-involved in your life, take on way too much and make everyone's problems their own. They end up overwhelmed, mired in drama, and resentful, and then they become the martyr. The problem with being friends with this type of person is that you're not in an equal friendship where you like each other, enjoy spending time with each other, and when there happen to be downs, you support each other through them. It's more like your project. Everyone's a project, and once you stop being a project you're now support, not just for them and their own problems, but part of the fire brigade for their other projects, which they've internalized as their own problems and drama. Someone who listens to gossip about you and doesn't shut it down. Conditional friendship. We're friends until I question you in the slightest way, and if I do, the relationship is tanked. Source. Happened to me yesterday. Goodbye as duck. If you have had a friend for a long time, but you only seem to be able to talk about memories in the past, each time you get together or exchange messages, it's remember in high school, or remember that time when, semicolon could be a sign that you both have grown apart and do not have much in common today that you can connect on. Edit. Thanks for the great responses. I am an old and not used to so many great comments. Is it ridiculous to thank people for comments? Yes, probably. I digress. I should have clarified. I mentioned below that fondly reminiscing about the past, crazy stories, inside jokes, those are the foundation of any solid long-term friendship. It's when that is only the extent of your communication that I think it becomes a red flag. I look at it from this perspective. If you were to have an intimate discussion on your future hopes, goals, or just confiding in each other, would it feel forced, awkward, or just unnatural? If so, it's likely because you both can't relate to one another. That's when I think it's a red flag. Art's question is great. It's a red flag that most people ignore because it doesn't seem like a red flag until you really analyze and think about the depth of the conversation you are consistently having. When they embarrass you in front of your other friends and don't apologize later, apologizing later is also just as bad. If you tell your friend that you like a person and you two are hanging out, then out of nowhere they start to talk to the person 24/7 and then tell you that they like the person and gets jealous if anyone else starts to talk to that person. Pretty toxic to me, but yet. A friend of mine has been making fun of me for years. Just made fun of me whenever I did said anything, even if I was serious. Didn't realize how much it's affected my self-esteem until I actually got really angry at her for something else, and no longer considered her a friend. Also, she's mentally unstable. Now that's okay, and as her friends we want to help her with that, but she's not giving us a chance to do so. She just flips her shit and expects everyone to adapt to her. The real problem is that she hasn't changed. The same shit's been happening for years and she's apparently not trying to work on herself in that regard. Still expecting us to just accept whatever BS she throws at us. So duck her. Personally, I've always had bad experiences with people who say everyone is their best friend. When my best friend in high school started calling 10 different people including me her best friend, that was when I knew I was just an accessory, and she was trying to surround herself with people to love her. Controlling, manipulative friends that try to change you rather than accepting you as you are. You leave their presence feeling worse about yourself. Mostly because they will have an excuse for what they say. When you ask them for anything they are busy, but they will demand things from you. Most people also brush away that they will demand a lot of attention. If the only jokes they're able to make are ones that make fun of other people, it's always a ticking time bomb with people like this, and one day they'll suddenly turn against you without warning. The ones who create and constantly dominate group chats. Edit. I mean when they act like the alpha dog, or that you're privileged to be in their chat, or like they're the final word on anything posted in it. My circle of friends was actually severed in half because of this. Friend brings in another friend and she starts dominating everything. When they cancel plans, they always do it last minute. Or just not show up. I had a friend who would ignore my messages asking where they were, and they would always message 3 days later that they were in the hospital or something. Every time. Not just once or twice. And like, it was a couple. One of you can answer me even if that were true. Someone who is all nice, great, attentive, supportive, etc. when you are alone but acts differently when other people are around. Don't make excuses for your friend. This is 100% uncool. At the very least, it shows some bad insecurities on their part. At worst, it's a sign they are genuinely using you. When they ditch you the moment they start dating someone. Bro, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content. It's free and that's a great price.